Hey guys, welcome back to Oak Bridge Farm. Just popped over to the store here to grab grabbed a small cultivator here. This is, you'll see what I need this for soon enough. I find the large one that we have is a little bit difficult to kind of fine tune corners and edges and work around, gates and fences and stuff. So we're going to be putting in a couple of fields today. And while the large one that we have will do a lot of the work, I wanted this to really kind of nice it up, Anyway, so it was like $3,000, I think, for this little tiny cultivator. I bought it brand new, wasn't even on sale. So welcome back. It is now March. We left each other in January, I'm going to say, and at that time we were scoping out the garden center and looking at doing a little bit of grass work for a cousin of the people that own the store. So yeah, that worked really well. We got, we got maybe 25 bales, 23, 25 bales, something like that off that field. And those are, they could be fermented by now actually. Could be close, but anyway, so yeah, we finished off with that. I started today off with two massive grass contracts that you'll have seen some brief footage of. So yeah, a lot of work. It was an early dark start to the day, but knocked those out, and I'm now sitting with a bankroll of about $147,000. That's not a bad way to start the day. I've got a couple things we're going to need to buy today to accomplish what we need to accomplish, but that's okay. In other big news, we lost Jack. Jack has accepted what seemed like a bit of a last minute job posting or job opportunity, I guess. He was called on to move to the city, and so he's taking a job there. His aunt and uncle are they're funny. They're like, well, you know what? He hasn't gone too far, so we're only about an hour into the city from here. So, but yeah, he is no longer part of the council here. But as a parting gift, he managed to find a home for this wall. So all the stone was removed. We had a crew in here through the end of February, and this morning they've dismantled the wall and moved it. So that's good news. We now have full access through this whole entire area here, which is awesome. So anyways, this is part of what we're going to do today is put in a field. What I really wanted to do was put in one big oat field here to plow all this up and plow this side and merge it all into one big field and really have a good old time with that. But as it turns out, the way this field is sloped, I can't do anything with. I wish I had known this actually, but I probably should have known this. But I can't do anything with this field here other than just let it grow naturally. The runoff of any kind of chemical fertilizer, even lime, whatever. They don't want diesel fuel from the tractors pouring down the hill, whatever. So, so I can't do anything, which is unfortunate. But anyway, but what I can do is we're going to put an oat field in this field here. And then I made a purchase. My old buddy Walter, of course, came through with a bit of a surprise. So we're going to show you that in a moment here. But anyways, yeah, so this is why I wanted this little cultivator, because while the large cultivator can get us through most of this, it'll get us through most of this. It doesn't allow us to really get up close to it doesn't allow us to get up close and personal to the edges. Yeah, so that was a nice little parting gift from Jack. He also mentioned that he really appreciated all the stuff that I've done for him and how I treat his aunt and uncle there. So he basically tore up the file on the mobile home there, and he said, if somebody wants to start that again, they're welcome to. But as far as we go right now, that whole complaint and investigation does not exist. So that should buy me some time before I ever have to worry about maybe doing something. And I don't have a good contact at the council. It was basically just Jack. So I guess we'll have to see what happens there. But anyway, so I have silage bales coming out of Miars. As you can see, I got a bunch down here at the bottom of the hill. I have some at the top of the hill over there. I've got some in one of the sheds on a trailer. I think also Yeah, these are 97%. Oh, these are in the water too. 97%. So these bales will turn right away. I believe these are the garden center bales. Yeah, some of these have already turned. Some of them need to turn. Bales over there, bales over there. So yes, I need to do a big bale sell-off at some point here, but that is not my priority at the moment. I want to put this cultivator down. Actually, you know what we'll do? Let's take this over to the new piece of land, and then we'll. Yeah, these guys are good for now. Yeah, we'll take this over to the new piece of land, and then we can. I think the other cultivator's still up at Walter's field there, where we had the little covering that we could park stuff underneath. So in saying that, that is also one of the reasons why Walter has come through with a bit of a purchase for us. So let's head up here to the land we bought. So I spent $117,000 on a piece of land that belonged to Mrs. Walter's sister. I guess she. Seems like the two oldest families in the area were Walters and Mrs. Walters. Anyway, so Walter's sister-in-law was one of the last remaining members of that crew, short of Mrs. Walter. So yeah, she passed and was holding on to a bunch of land of which I was able to purchase a piece. There's not a large, other than Mrs. Walter, there's not a large contingent beyond that. So Walter's going to be hanging on to a lot of the property, as you would expect with Walter and his property hoarding. But he kind of said to me, he said, "Look, kid, I know that you're here working on behalf of your Uncle Pete, and this piece of land that I'm going to sell you will end up sitting under the envelope of land owned by your Uncle Pete. But if it was up to Walter, he was kind of hoping that I would remain in the area and work this land. But anyway, so we'll see what the future holds. I now have this field here to work. So I've mowed it and I've taken bales off of that. Bales of which are all sitting over there. We got a lot of silage bales, man. Oh my god. And so this was basically a mud pit when I first picked this up. It had been pretty much just disregarded for quite a while. Walter was actually afraid to park anything in here because he didn't want to get stuck. So I put down a bunch of gravel, to make this a usable pad. I did agree to retain some access to the horse field back there. Mrs. Walter was going to continue wanting to use that. So I did add like a bit of a little gravel laneway here just so I didn't forget and accidentally cultivate over it. So we'll leave a bit of a strip there, a little gap between the field and the fence. Hopefully later today, if not at some point here, I'm going to hear back on two other things from Walter. This piece of land over here was also owned by Mrs. Walter's sister, so it's quite possible. I guess Walter's just trying to figure out what he wants to do with it. He may decide to keep it or he may sell it to me, and I think it's around 30 grand, so it's pretty reasonable, especially compared to 117,000, which this one was. But anyways, whatever. I wasn't going to argue. I had the money, or Uncle Pete had the money anyways, and I figured, screw it. You know what? Let's put some money into the land, and then we'll take the silage bales off, and when we sell those, we'll put that towards the loan. So if Walter sells me this piece of land here, that would be pretty cool. Plus, if you look right over here, Walter's got a little chicken pen here. So it's possible that we're going to have an opportunity to purchase this. He's just doing a bit of soul searching right now to decide whether or not he wants to be a chicken man. And if he doesn't want to be a chicken man, then you know what? Old Uncle Pete's going to be a chicken man. And we're going to pick this up. I think it's like 5 or 6 grand he's going to want for this piece of land here. Plus we'll have to buy chickens. So that's what that's all about. Now in real life, I am just getting over a disaster of a cold. still pretty congested. I think I I definitely I was working 24 hours a day and not really resting very much, and then my kid came home from school the cold, and it didn't take long to take me down. So that's that. Actually, I just this is the week where I missed a Monday upload, which honestly I don't really care. My apologies for missing, but I'm not too stressed out about it. There was a time I think I went from a July to December when I never even uploaded a single thing. So I've managed to keep a pretty good upload schedule. But anyways, so I should point out one more thing here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. So Walter, I swear it's like having another dad. So he's good enough to look out for me and ultimately Uncle Pete. But I think what Walter really wants is that I'll like this property here. I'll like the area and I'll want to stay. So that's, there's this piece of land here that he hopes I'm going to end up working, but we'll see. Potentially going to pick up that grass field at the end there, which would be pretty cool. And the chickens. There's one more thing. Walter's sister-in-law, she lived just out in the country a bit. Her home is not for sale, but she had a unit in here actually that she always had aside for workers, of which Walter said that if I wanted, I could pick this up for next to nothing. So this is vacant right now, this end unit here. I can't go in, I don't have keys, but it's just a nice little unit. So if I opted to stay, he said, yeah, we'll hang on to it. He goes, I have no desire to rent it out. I don't want to deal with any of that crap. So he said it's going to stay vacant for quite a while. So if it's something that I wanted, I could potentially move in right here. And if you look in the back, oh, can't see from there. Look at the pool. That wouldn't be a bad way to start and finish the day off. Plus you got all this nature and stuff back here. See? So anyways, and then Uncle Pete's is just down there. So we'll see what happens anyways. I don't know really what my plans are going to be. I'm buying everything under the envelope of Uncle Pete's farm. So when Uncle Pete comes back, if he just says, thanks so much, kid, see you later, and kicks me out, well, then I'm not going to really be working anything. I'll just leave. But if he decides to, piece me off and let me stick around, then, well, you know what? Maybe I will. I have no idea. Who the hell knows, you know? Let's pop up to the other field there and grab the cultivator, so we can get a good look at what our fields are going to look like here. All right, so up here we still have the cultivator / grass seeder, and then I have this planter. Unfortunately, the planter is not going to allow us to put oats in the ground, and neither will this cultivator / seeder. So there is a unit in the used sale right now, which I think we're actually going to grab. It's not a very big working width, which is a bit of an understatement. It's actually or an overstatement. I don't know. It's an incorrect statement or whatever. It's a 3 meter working width on a cedar, but I think for our purposes it's probably pretty good. I really don't plan on doing any large scale contracts with it. I think that might just be death, but for our needs, just for our little oat fields, then I think maybe that'll be okay. So I chose oats because, well, I mean we can put a number of things in, but I did look on the map to see what other farmers were growing, and there are a couple of oat fields that are already in, so it's not foreign to the area. Walter has, like I mentioned, he's got horses, so he would be a good customer of mine. For as regards to feeding the horses. Plus, oats, if I remember correctly, hopefully I'm remembering this correctly, can be planted now and harvested, I believe, before the end of August, I think. So that gets us, if Uncle Pete comes back at the end of September and we're out of here, then that gives us the opportunity to not only put the oats in the ground, but to also take them out of the ground, which is kind of the full circle thing that we want to do here. So let's see if this fits. Oh, shoot. Pete told me to limit my use of this gate here, or Walter told me to limit my use of this gate here because it's a pretty snug fit. and he didn't want me to damage anything. It's quite. He said, you know, the who's who of the area live in this block here. There's some highfalutin individuals. Let's see if I can sneak through. And saying that, let's see if I can jam this through this beautiful stone wall here. No problem. So I'm going to do my best not to get too greedy here and to try to stay away from the walls as best as possible. There's a couple of pesky trees along here that we may want to do something with at some point. But I will try to avoid them as much as possible with the cultivator, because ultimately we'll have to get a harvester through here, and I don't want to be doing battle with these trees. So I guess with Jack leaving the council, it was a little bit of short notice. There was a big going away party for him down at the church, which was kind of nice. I got a chance to kind of get to know some more people. But with him leaving, it does kind of create a bit of a void there at the council. Like I mentioned, he did tear up the investigation, the complaint and subsequent investigation into the mobile home, which I will be forever grateful for, because it's just one more thing I did not want to have to worry about. So I can imagine there were probably other things like that he eliminated. I can't be the only one that he was working on stuff with that he's kind of just deleted from the files. But anyways, yeah. So with that void potentially comes opportunity, and I mean, I don't want to take advantage, but I may be able to sneak in here late afternoon or something and just take down a couple trees quickly and play dumb, because I don't know. It just seems like something that I might be able to pull off. I'm pretty decent at playing dumb, I can tell you that much. And like I don't want to start off on the wrong foot with somebody new there at the council, but I also want to make sure that I'm looking after my own, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so this should make a reasonable size oat field. I don't know what we'll actually get off of it in regards to a yield, but something manageable anyways, right? I'd love to eventually, if I was going to stick around, get my hands on the field right next to it. I think that'd be a nice compliment, these two fields here. And then if Jack, sorry, this cold's getting to me. If Walter comes through and we were able to purchase that other field, then it'd be a good little slice of heaven over here. No issues with this field and environmental. We were able to dig it up and do whatever we want with it, more or less. But yeah, this is really a nice field. I'm glad that it's somewhat in town here. I like working in the area here. It's nice to see people walking around and to sort of see activity, which is that's cool. I mean, a nice big field out in the country would have been great too, but I mean, this one is not without its challenges, like the stone walls and the people walking around, and it's a little tight to get into and that kind of stuff. But I mean, that's definitely what gives it the character of the area, right? We could work on big fields out in the middle of the countryside on any map. This one has just a nice Comsden feel, even though it's not officially Comsden anymore. On the topic of should I stay or should I go, when Uncle Pete comes back, the whole intention with this, I call it a mini series, but this is like episode 9 now, I think. So the whole intention here was to get into the map. Uncle Pete is my escape route. So if I figured if we could get on the map, play for a while, and then decide whether we wanted to play for a longer while, Uncle Pete really gives us that opportunity to decide whether we want to stay or not. So if Uncle Pete returns and he's kind of a dink about the whole thing, then he could basically just say thanks for nothing, and we'd be on our way. At which point we'd be on our way to a new map, a new opportunity, whatever, right? If Uncle Pete says, hey, it'd be nice to have some family working in the area. Why don't you take these lands here and make something of them, and he'll stick with what he's got or something. I don't know. Who knows what the. Then we could spend more time here, obviously, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. This story is far from written. All right, we're just getting onto this field here, so I'm going to be super careful working around these walls, and we are going to come in with the smaller cultivator afterwards to really kind of figure out where we want this to be. But like, I don't want to be smashing into these walls with a harvester eventually. So I mean, I'm leaving sort of walking width, I think is probably fair. So the reason I was able to get this side approved was all the work we did at the bottom when we put the gravel in and the drainage layer and everything. So they were able to come in here and agree that there was no actual danger to that little stream at the bottom. The bigger kind of creek over on the other side, it was more the concern. Yeah, see, because of this sort of diamond shape of this cultivator, it's hard to get a nice square field. All right, so I want to make sure we leave enough room to be able to drive down here. Eventually we'll get like a wall or a stone wall or a fence or something put in there, but in the meantime, the guys that took the wall out were nice enough just to give us some of those safety pylons, just to kind of remind me not to drive into the creek there. I think they're used to just dealing with sort of a lot of the elderly farmers in the area here who may decide to drive into a creek, but not me. Yeah, if I kind of just blast up here, that gives me a little bit of a gap there on the edge. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get through there, but we'll see. Worst case is if I have to give back some of the field, I guess I could do that, but I'll be curious also. So this field here could have been mowed. I didn't mow it. I thought about it, but figured, you know what, we got enough going on right now with grass. I just couldn't stomach mowing this field again. So what I am curious to see, though, is once this field and the field we just put in over on the new piece of property are done, I'll be curious to see what the fertilized state of this one is. Will we get some kind of bonus because of the fact there was grass getting, cultivated in? So that means I have to keep my eyes open for a harvester now over the next couple of months, which is fine, because I want to say the cedar that is available right now that I think we're going to pick up, this 3 meter wide cedar, I want to say it's like 20 or 30 grand. If Walter comes back and says that yes, we can have the property there, then that's like another 30 grand, let's say. So let's call it like 60 grand. I'm just guessing here. That would leave us about $80,000. I still need some way to put herbicide down, because once we plant these fields, I have I obviously I can put I don't have a way to we'll see what we need for fertilizer, but I don't have a sprayer for herbicide, and I don't have. Do I have a? Well, I do have I can spread solid fertilizer or solid fertilizer. We do have that. I don't have anything for like slurry or manure, which I think we're probably going to want or need, especially if we're not getting the extra fertilize layer or whatever. Then we're going to need a way to put some additional fertilizer down. Getting that wall out was actually my first foray into Giants Editor. So I downloaded Giants Editor and installed it, and then watched a tutorial, and then loaded in the map and took out the wall. It was actually it's probably I'm certain that's probably the most simple of tasks in Giants Editor, and that wall was probably set up perfectly that I wasn't gonna have to do a lot of thinking. So that worked for me. Okay, so I think what I'll do, we'll fire this up to the other field, and then we'll come back and get the smaller cultivator. We'll use that to kind of clean up the edges, and then we'll clean up the edges on the other yard, and then we'll go down to the store and grab this cedar that I saw for sale, provided it's still for sale. I can't see why it wouldn't be, but yeah, see, it's kind of a shame. I wanted this all to be one big oat field, but anyways, I guess it makes sense. I gotta watch out for nature, right? I don't want to pollute any little turtles or frogs or whatever live down there in that pond slash creek. I can just leave that open for now. Thankfully, David over here is cool with us kind of using this little area here often. I mean, he sold us that field, so he must have known we'd use this gate. But I am using the. I find myself using that little piece of this yard there to turn around quite a bit, more than I had anticipated. So the field up here that we have, watch out for this guy. This field up here that we own, obviously we have an entrance right there on the road that you can potentially see, but I don't know that we're going to use that very much, especially once our crops start to grow, because you won't necessarily want to drive over your crops to get into the field. So we should be accessing the field from over here for the most part. I just hope we don't end up, annoying any of these folks here on my left, to the point where we get asked to, do something else. I'll just show you quickly. Here's a bit of a failed purchase, which we may take this back and try to sell it. But this is a windrow that I bought. We had something, if you remember, an FS22 that looked very much like this, but it's quite a bit wider. This one is not wide at all. So I was thinking, or thinking that if I could find something that was a wider swath, would create a wider working area than the windrow we had, then I'd be happy. And I kind of was wondering if maybe that was going to be my solution, but it turns out that no, it's not. It is not. Oh, the cultivator's here. Okay, so we'll do this field and then we'll go to the other one. Alright, so I didn't think there was going to be a lot of cleaning up here. This looks like I did a pretty decent job here, but you want to just straighten out a couple things. Got a slightly different cultivated texture with this one. It's a little darker. I don't need to get too greedy and try to really square that off. I want to make sure that it's usable with the harvester. We'll square this corner off over here. So I'm recording this on the 18th of March, and it is all I can do to record this and not jump onto City Skylines 2, which just had a massive patch, new content, 3 new creator packs, and all kinds of other stuff. New gameplay options, new, lots of really good stuff actually. So I want to try it so bad. I downloaded it this morning before I headed off onto a job, and then I loaded in just to kind of get a quick glimpse to see what mods might be broken, and it looked like it loaded in nice and smooth. I haven't really read of anybody having any major issues. It seems like every time I update City Skylines 2, it's like a month before I can even log back in, because all my my mods break and I gotta uninstall and reinstall the game 5 times. But yeah, this one looks like it was pretty smooth. So, anyways, we'll get this recorded, and then I'll be off to play that for probably a long period of time. Okay, so that looks pretty freaking good. It'll look even better with crops growing in it, but you know what I'll do? We'll go tidy up the other lot, and then I think by that time it'll be ready for a bite to eat. So I might grab a bite, and then we'll see if, well, whatever. I'll call over to the store and get them to set that cedar aside for us. I'd love to know if Walter's going to sell us that other piece of land. We may just keep it as grass, but I mean, if we're putting oats in, maybe it could become a third oat field for us. Because we have, like, for grass, we have the one half of this field. We have the hill over there. That's going to be, I mean, these sheep barely eat anything. So if we're invited back to do the field beside the store, and then that guy's cousin's yard over at the garden center, then we probably don't have to worry about grass for a while. I don't know. Maybe what I'll do is I'll get this cleaned up. I'll go in for a bite to eat. I will call the store, and then we'll call Walter after that. I don't really want to push him, but I do kind of want to know what his thinking is. So if he's able to give us a decision, then that would be cool. Also, we could then probably the least of my worries is chickens, because if he decides that he wants to sell us that chicken area, I don't know what you call it, but if he decides he wants to sell us that, then we're going to need to get some food, some birds, some stuff, because we're obviously not equipped to work with chickens. But yeah, we could get all that set up too. My priority in the month of March here, anyways, is this is the fields. Like, let's get these fields rocking and rolling, and if we do add that other piece of property, let's maybe decide whether we're gonna hack that up too. My guess is we would. I mean, why not, right? The least amount of maneuvering needed with a harvester here, the better, because we're dealing with a hill. So if I'm going the wrong way on the hill with the harvester, we could get stuck pretty easy. All right, so that's probably okay there. That's all good. That's all good. All right, you know what? I'm going to go sneak down here. This should fit now. And I'm going to get on the phone. Like I said, spend some money. See what other money we might need to spend. Oh, why did I do this? And then, yeah, we'll reconvene after lunch. Okay, that was an expensive lunch. Let's go drop this up at the yard, and then we'll come back. I say the yard. I'm gonna try to keep as much up there as possible, and keep this as open as I can down here. But yeah, so okay, I did the deal on a cedar, so we're gonna go pick that up right now. It's a horse cedar. Holds 2,800 liters of seeds, which will probably last forever, and it's a 3 meter working width, so that's not a very robust working width, but you know what, it'll work for us. So I did that deal. I got to grab some seed. Actually, I forgot. I think I only have a partial bag of seed down at the yard at Uncle Pete's, so we'll need to get some seeds. I have. Just make sure I don't hit anything here. I got on the phone with Walter, and yeah, it's funny. I got one of those. Oh, I was just meaning to call you, sort of thing. So I think he forgot. To be honest with you, but we now have another piece of land. Actually, yeah, let's go over here first. So this piece of land at the end is now in the Uncle Pete portfolio. Walter said, I'm pretty open to do whatever I want to do with it. I don't have to worry about access, because that's probably what he's talking about over here. He said there's a gate, but because I've left access on the other field, if I was going to put oats in this one too, then I could go right up to this gate here, which is cool. Although, looking at the chickens, I guess he didn't think of that. So I also own the chickens. I might do a little remodeling here, because if I can go and put another gate in over here. Yeah, you know what? If I could take that tree out, put in a gate right here, then, because I think I am going to put oats in this field. Yeah, if I could just leave a little bit of access here, then I could get in and out of the chicken coop. I'm not sure. We'll see. I might leave like a bit of an area. You know what? Let's just do it. If I leave some room Let's see a tractor's width. I guess I gotta leave access to this garden. He didn't mention anything, but I probably should, shouldn't I? Alright, we'll do this. It's funny, I asked Walter about the forest in the back there too, and he didn't want to talk about that. Apparently that's his family's property. But he said, yeah, don't... What did he say? Relax, kid. Like, alright. Yeah, okay, so this should work out well here. Yeah, I wasn't actually going to just go and grab the cedar and get working on the other fields. But you know what? I mean, it just makes sense if we're putting if we're already putting the seeds in the ground, then it'd be silly not to also attack this. All right, so this one we don't have to leave a lot of room. All right, so if you use my tire tracks as a guide, this should give me enough room here. I mean, the only thing that we'd need to get in and out of there for would be to transport birds, I guess. And, I mean, even that, if I had just something small, I could probably even get a little trailer with an ATV or something and get in and out of there if I had to. Alright, yeah, that should be good. Man, we're gonna be away to the races here. Things are happening. It's if I do end up having to leave this place, it's gonna be tough to leave after putting all this effort in. And I mean, you really start to take ownership of an area when it looked different before you put a plow in the ground, so to speak. That should be more than enough room. All right, well, let me get this plowed up, and then we'll head over to the store to grab our new to us cedar, because it is used. Anyways, $27,000, and it was, I want to say, over half price. So I think it was a $50,000 or $60,000 cedar. So it was a pretty good deal. Hopefully that means it works well, or works, period. Okay, they got our cedar out front. That thing looks massive. Is that the right one? That was supposed to be a 3 meter. Yeah, I guess so. From the angle driving in, it looked just massive. Okay, I'm going to run in and get him to throw a couple bags of seeds. I have a couple bags of fertilizer over there, but I don't have any seeds over here. Okay, guys brought up a good point there, which I completely forgot about, but there's no lime in those fields. So I'm going to have to put some lime down before I can put some seeds down. So I did pick up, I picked up 12,000 liters of lime. I don't know. I'm gonna have to come back here with the Landini and a trailer, and we'll throw this onto the trailer, and then we'll see what. I think it's gonna take quite a bit of lime. Those are fresh fields. These are kind of interesting. This is I want to say, I'm not even gonna guess. These bags are misprints. So they say rapeseed on them somewhere. I can't read it, but so they were about $400 off from the. Per bag from what they should have been, so that was pretty good. So I think what we'll do is let's grab we'll grab this. We'll fill these up. I'll come back over here with the Landini, and then we'll get the fertilizer bags that we have over here, and we'll get these lime bags, and then we'll probably put the spreader on. I don't know, maybe we'll put the spreader on this tractor, and then we'll keep the trailer on the Landini, and it can follow us around as we get the lime in the field. But shoot, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Anyways, it's a good looking cedar here. They said the light on the back is super bright. Let's see. Oh yeah, look, it's got lights all at the top there too. Wow. Okay. So here's what I got to do then. I believe the trailer is filled with silage bales, the smaller trailer. So we'll take this right over to Pete's yard. We'll leave this in the in at the bottom of that one field. I will grab the trailer with the silage bales. We'll go sell those off. That's going to be over at the garden center. Then I will bring the trailer back, throw the Landini on the trailer, and make sure I got the loader arms on. We'll head over to the store. We'll pick up the lime and the fertilizer. I will put the spreader on the back of this tractor, and then we'll get to work on putting lime in the fields before we can even seed. Jeez, I almost gapped that one. That would have been embarrassing. All right, we got a little over 100,000 liters of silage here. We're going to take up to the garden center. I ended up loading a couple more bales on before I left. I accidentally opened up a couple of them, but that's okay. It's still worth the same amount of money. Yeah, it'd be nice to put a little bit of money back in the bank account, especially after spending some money there on our expensive lunch. What was it? 40, 54, almost $60,000 we spent on that one lunch break, and then obviously off to the store to buy some more stuff. So yeah, it's been a bit of a pricey day, but you know what? I think I like the way things are progressing there. I mean, we're not buying giant fields like the ones out here, but I also don't have I don't have in a long run. Sure, we may get a harvest season in and sell some more bales and save up some money and be able to purchase some bigger fields. But we'd also have to purchase some bigger equipment because doing those fields in these, I gotta steer clear of big fields and small equipment. It's just an absolute soul crusher when you want to go out there and do all the big work, but you don't have the tools for it. It just ain't gonna work, you know? Yeah, I can't. I was gonna put these bales and the trailer on the Landini, but I never would have even made it here. This tractor's laboring up the hills. The Landini never would have made it. We get a chance to check out the grass up here and see if it's regrowing. We'll probably get at least one cut a season off the lawn here and over at the store. Yeah, it's still sitting in what looks like a mowed state, so I don't think there's no action there for a couple months probably. All right, garden center. So I think it's this first one here. Indeed it is. Almost $13,000. All right. It's better than a kick in the, what? The hay bales. Better than a kick in the hay bales. All right, well, that's good news. So that was about $13,000 for 130, for a little over 100,000 liters of silage. Oh, see that? There's a cool note. So Giants has released it was a modder anyways, to put a bridge pack together. But I don't know if you recall, but I think maybe it was the last episode, I made a comment about how cool it'd be to have one of these bridges. And somebody was kind enough to actually pick it out of the game and out of the map, I guess, and send it to me. So I don't think it's something that we can necessarily distribute or upload somewhere, because my guess is it was probably made for this map, so Oxygen David would essentially have rights to it, I guess. But it would be in poor taste, I think, to distribute the mod openly, but as a share between somebody's subscriber and myself, I think that's super cool. It just continues to amaze me whenever I have something like that happen. Okay, so what do we got? So we still have to we got to lime the fields. We have to put seeds in the fields. We have to get herbicide in the fields. And we have to potentially get a second layer of fertilizer in the field. So that is a whole bunch of stuff coming up here, of which I think we're going to put into the next episode. I think we're going to call this one here, guys. partially because this is the first thing I've recorded since getting over this cold, and it's kind of killing me, to be honest with you. But we have so much stuff left to do, and I don't want to just all of a sudden say, okay, and there you go, it's all done. I'd like to actually do that stuff in the episode. So I believe the next episode of Saving Uncle Pete will be finishing off the oat fields. And then if you think about it beyond that, it's trying to earn enough money, probably through contracts, so we can get ourselves some harvesting equipment that we can take the oats off the field, right? Beyond that, there's not an abundance of other things that we would need to do. Oh, actually, you know what? Hold on. Let me just disconnect that. Might as well grab the Landini and just grab the trailer right out of the road there and take this up to the store. Wouldn't be a complete episode without a little bit of Landini action. Actually, and then I'll pull the other tractor back into the yard. There we go. Yeah, so I think like I said, we're going to leave that there. Let me know what you think about the direction of the oat fields. Oh, there's that dog. Let's not kill somebody's dog. We'll go up through David's property here. I think those oats are going to provide a good variety there for Uncle Pete when he gets back. And maybe he'll decide he wants to put something else in the ground. I mean, he also owns a planter, of which I got on a good deal. He's lucky his nephew's a bit of a binge shopping hoarder. But anyways, yeah. All right. So thanks so much, guys. If you have any feedback, leave it in the comments. If you are not already subscribed, then go ahead and do that now. No, go ahead and do that. Got it? All right. Other than that, thank you so much, and I will see you again very soon here on this map. All right. Thanks.